Former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher passed away on Monday. Prime Minister Thatcher was the longest-serving Prime Minister in the United Kingdom during the 20th century. She was also the first female leader of a political party in Britain and was the first leader of a major democratic Western state. She was given the nickname the Iron Lady by Soviet media as an insult when she gave a strong speech against the Soviet Union while in opposition before becoming Prime Minister. While it was intended as an insult, she wore the term as a badge of honor, and she is known today as the Iron Lady. Let's look at some vocabulary. Former. Former means it's something that someone has done in the past. So if I say Margaret Thatcher was the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, that means in the past, at some time, she was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Chen Shui-bian is the former President of Taiwan. Bill Clinton is the former President of the United States. So something that they had done in the past. Pass away. Pass away is a polite phrase. Like Taiwanese culture, we don't really like to use the words death, dying, things like that. So we use the term pass away. Very common way to describe someone who has died, usually recently. Longest serving. If you are the longest serving, that means you have done something for more time than anyone else has done. Margaret Thatcher was the longest serving Prime Minister in the 20th century. That means she spent more time as British Prime Minister in the 20th century than anyone, including the famous Winston Churchill, who did not spend as much time as Prime Minister as Lady Thatcher did. Political party. A political party is a group of people, they come together, they have similar ideas, and they try to win elections. You want to be president, you want to be Prime Minister, you want to be mayor, you want to be in the legislature. So you come together, form a political party, and work together. Taiwan has several political parties. The Chinese Nationalist Party, 中国国民党, the Democratic Progressive Party, the 民进党, the People First Party, 亲民党, the Taiwan Solidarity Union, 台联党, are all political parties in Taiwan. Soviet. For those of us who are old enough, I grew up in the 80s, we remember the Soviet Union, 苏联. Soviet is the adjective form of the Soviet Union, which was a state, the largest state in the world, that existed from 1917 to the time of the revolution to 1992, when the Soviet Union fell apart. Insult. If you say something bad about another person, you are insulting them. So you talk to another person, oh, you're so fat. That's not a nice thing to say. That can be an insult. You say bad things about another person. Opposition. Opposition means you are the minority party, meaning you are not the ruling party. The ruling party has the majority or the largest number of seats, so the majority party controls the government. Opposition parties are the smaller minority parties who are opposing or watching the majority party, which is the ruling party. We generally only use a phrase like opposition, or in the case of Margaret Thatcher from 1975 to 1979, before she became Prime Minister, she was the opposition leader. That means she was the leader of the smaller party in Parliament, the Tory party. So, the minority party. But we only use it in a parliamentary system. So if you have a system like the UK has, like Canada has, like Japan has, where the people elect their members of parliament, and the members of parliament then choose the prime minister, then we can say opposition. We cannot correctly use this term in Taiwan, though some media outlets do use the term opposition. The Minjindang is the minority party, they're not the opposition party. Badge of honor. Badge of honor means you take something and you're proud of it. Oftentimes it's meant as an insult. It's not meant to be something to be taken proud of, but you take it as a badge of honor. You take pride in it anyway. So the Soviet media, backstory here. Soviet media, while Margaret Thatcher was still in opposition, she gave a very strong speech condemning the Soviet Union and condemning the evils of communism. Soviet media picked up on that, and with no compliment intended, definitely intended as an insult, called her the Iron Lady for not being willing to compromise on certain things regarding the Soviet Union. So they called her the Iron Lady. She took it as a badge of honor, and she took that as her nickname for basically the rest of her life. Let's look at some vocabulary sentences. Number one, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945, is the president in U.S. history. Of course, today, presidents cannot serve that long because now we have term limits. Term limits were passed in the United States for president in 1950. So today, a president can serve no longer than 10 years in the United States. But Roosevelt served for more than 12. He was elected 4 times. So we can say that he is the longest serving president in U.S. history. Number two, the Republicans and Democrats are two in the United States. Well, in the United States, we have the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. There are many smaller parties in the United States, but these are two political parties in the United States. Number three, George W. Bush is a president of the United States. Well, George W. Bush is no longer the president. Barack Hussein Obama is the president today. The W, by the way, stands for Walker, George Walker Bush. He is no longer the president, so he is a former president of the United States. And number four, Joseph Stalin was leader during World War II. Well, you know World War II. If you know Joseph Stalin, you'll know he was a major world leader during World War II, and he was the leader of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. That was the full name of the country that we commonly call the Soviet Union, or Sulian in Chinese. So he was Soviet, the adjective for Soviet Union. This has been an installment of News English. 如果你还有英文问题，你可以上 FB 台中新英文美语，也可以上 YouTube TCNEEnglish。如果你在台中找英文老师，你可以上 FB 跟我联络。谢谢你收看。